Yes, he's making a noise too.
Hey, what's up, guys? What is going on? It's John back here with some more information. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a ton of stimulus news for you guys. We've got a ton of information for you here in this video. We've got some amazing news that we want to keep you guys updated with. As you guys can tell, things are working much better tonight. And for some odd reason, last night, it was just a little crazy. But I hope you guys are doing great. We've got some stimulus check updates. We've got some great news. We've got a lot of eligibility dates, some great information that you're going to definitely want to know about. And we want to keep you updated on all this news, guys. A lot of big news happening. Yes, this information literally just come out, and we're going to be keeping you updated on what is happening. And I've got all that information here. We're looking at literally a stimulus check for 2024 will be released by the Internal Revenue Service for the American Rescue Plan in May of 2024. Well, guys, if you're looking at the date, it's the 16th, and senior citizens in the nation who are literally dealing with financial difficulties or who have persistent handicap can get this stimulus check, and the IRS guarantees that it will assist qualified residents with meeting their basic amenities, helping to pay their rent and other obligations, affording wholesome meals, and purchasing prescription medications. Again, this is for 2024. This will come in the form of payment checks or direct deposit, guys. This is all that the IRS is guaranteeing. This is a senior financial assistance that is going to be part of the government that's going to help out that's going to provide a stimulus package from the U.S. federal government that will assist elderly individuals regain a feeling of financial independence, since with time, mental, emotional, physical, and financial fertility have caused them to really become dependent on others, especially those that are disabled. This has put a huge burden on you guys. So the Internal Revenue Service is providing a financial aid of a stimulus check through the U.S. federal government. That is when things get moving. These are checks coming in May 2024 payment dates, and this is where this information literally just come out today, guys. We're reading it that the senior citizens that have been having financial difficulties or who have had persistent handicap can get this payment, and the IRS guarantees it. So that is one part of it, guys. And again, what they're saying is there's a huge possibility that these direct payments is expected to be given out this week, offering hope to those in need. So that is one key thing that if you are just tuning in, welcome to the show. Ruth, Kathy, Greg, Candy, Tiptis, Rising War, James, Dorothy, Jessica, Salvador, Denise, Jack, James. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Your love, support me in the world. We are here back with some more information when it comes to stimulus checks 2024. And we've got the most up-to-date news right here in this video. News that literally just come out today. What we're talking about is the direct payments that are coming this month and knowing eligibility. And here is the information. Again, for those of you guys that are just tuning in, we're going to dive into this news. We've got a ton of news towards the end of this video. You don't want to miss it. Last night was great. We had a ton of people tune in, and we're hoping to get that same here today. Guys, we love you so much. Thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got a ton of news right here. So we understand seniors have been dealing with a lot of difficulties and issues, but here we have a direct payment is expected to be given out this week, offering hope to those in need. Now, before we move to further, I'm going to move to a video that we've got for you guys, because this is, we've been in the mix of a few things, but we really want to talk about some things that are happening and update you guys on what's going on, especially when it comes to Social Security and what's happening with these Social Security 2100 Act. So, guys, right here on the screen, we're going to show you this information. Literally, it just come out, I think it was yesterday. And this information is so important. We want to make sure you're updated on what's security forward. What they're wanting to do is, number one, they want to push that Joe Biden, the Democrats, a lot of the Democratic plans that they're moving forward, number one, is to strengthen Social Security, expand its solvency, create a better overall COLA calculation, and number two, provide an overall increase across the board. But guys, check this out.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to also thank the sponsors of this legislation and associate myself with remarks of Mr. Neal and Mr. Thompson as well. There's part of me, the more cynical part, that wishes we'd break into the theme from our charade, because I do think the authors of the bill are both well-intended and focused in what they want to do, but in the same breath, here we are all understanding what we need to do to strengthen the election process coming forward. This will be the most scrutinized presidential election in the history of the country. I just hope our colleagues on the other side will be prepared when the winner is announced to support the winner and not to end up in protest at the United States Capitol and what we witnessed on January the 6th. And the way to guarantee that is to make sure that our local election officials and entities are funded instead of cutting money from these critical programs that will guarantee this. What we need to do is enhance it so that every voter has the right to turn out, and everybody from the local media on up guarantees that the elections were held and were monitored and the results will be honored.
Again, guys, I know that from his standpoint, he's pretty much declaring that Joe Biden is going to win this election. How many of you guys agree? And I'm going to ask you guys down in the chat, is it me? Is it me? Or is he pretty much why did I write it twice? So again, guys, you know, is it me or is he declaring that Joe Biden's going to win? If they're wanting to honor, then I think that goes for both sides, not just one side, guys. This Chuck Owens, this video literally just come out. Literally just come out. And if you're asking, this is when it just out right there. So right there, you see it, guys, right there on the screen. This literally just come out, okay?
And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Additional members wish to strike the last word. Seeing none, we will move to amendments.
And you know, this is where I don't know, I don't understand the whole thing, but this is literally things that are happening, guys, that hey, what is going on? Because this is big. This is a lot of big news.
And while Social Security may soon be headed for disaster, financial guru Dave Ramsey has some advice for thinking about collecting soon.
Don't hold out for the largest Social Security check possible, is what Dave says. Then begin collecting benefits as early as 62 years old, but only if you invest the whole check. Our next guest says he's absolutely right.
Jade Warshaw is here, and she works for Dave Ramsey's Ramsey Solutions. Jade, just explain more of this approach. But Dave seems to suggest you can still count on Social Security despite the fact that, according to this new report, up until 2033, you know, there's going to be an automatic benefit cut of 21%.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Listen, if you're trying to jump from working to retirement, Social Security should not be your parachute. As it stands, I mean, it's only going to account for 40% of what people were used to making. And as you said earlier, in 2030, it might not even exist anymore. So I tell Americans, listen, set yourself up for success. You know, we tell people to pay off all their consumer debt, get 3 to 6 months saved, and then you should be investing 15% of your gross income every month so you can create a retirement fund that is secure for yourself. Now, as to what Dave was talking about, you know, if you reach 62 years old and you say, listen, I don't really need Social Security, I've got my own nest egg. Yeah, take that money early. You're going to get a lower distribution, but you should invest that amount. Now, if you say to me, Jade, I need Social Security, I need every bit of it, I would tell you to wait till 70 and take the most distribution that you can get. And for some people, there might be a little medium of both where you could continue working and take Social Security. Just know that there'll be limits on the income that you can make without them penalizing you.
Jade, all I know is at the time I turned 62, this thing goes broke. That is my luck. Hopefully they'll figure out how to fix it. But let's move on to this, because Americans, they're now also facing an affordability crisis. And it's according to Cox Automotive chief economist, half of American households can only afford a car payment of $400 per month, which means their options for new cars are severely limited, with the average payment on a new vehicle coming in at roughly $740 per month. So listen, as rents are going up, Jade, and you're telling me to save 15% of my income and I need a new car, it seems like people are getting pinched everywhere. They can afford $400, but the average new car is costing north of $740 a month.
That's right. I have just the anecdote. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The car payment is what's keeping America broke. When we talk about a $400 car payment, or even like you said, the average $717, I mean, just taking $500 of that and investing it instead of paying it to, you know, CarMax every month. If you invested that for 30 years, it's over $1 million. And so I get it. People are wondering, well, what am I supposed to do if I don't have a car payment? The answer is paying for cars in cash. And I know that's mind blowing for a lot of people. Honestly, when I first heard that advice, I didn't know if it was possible until I did it. And I'm telling you, it's possible. You're not going to be driving the newest, nicest model. You're probably going to start out with a $6,000 or $7,000 car, and then you can slowly trade up. I know this is possible because this is what me and my husband do. The car I drive today is a 2013. I've never driven a brand new vehicle.
I've never bought a brand new vehicle, but Jade, really quickly, what's happened is because interest rates have gone up so much and new car prices have gone up so much, people are chasing these used cars, and a smaller pool of them are inventory. So used car price, the average monthly payment of the used car is 40% higher than the payment that Americans can afford. Just real quick, final word.
You're right, Dagan. You're right, Dagan. And that's why I suggest paying for cars in cash. If you're a 2-car family, I would suggest selling off one of the vehicles, taking the cash, and buying a cash car. And I'm talking cheap, $5,000-$6,000. And then slowly but surely, you can trade that in, add a little cash, and trade up.
Get ahead of your finances. Jade Warshaw, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being with us. Thank you.
Great to see you, Jade.
I just don't understand it, guys. So this is where I literally, you know, I'm heartbroken, because how can people afford to buy a vehicle? Can we really last another 4 years under Joe Biden? Let me know in the comments, guys, because again, remember, interest rates have never been this high. The way that our economy is, it's mind blowing. And some of you guys are definitely, you know, you understand, you're saying, hey, we get it. We know things are not as good as we wish they were. And this is something that I really wanted to bring to your attention, because Senator Mitch McConnell came on board. He said a few things, and I thought it would be good for a listen, guys. And this is, you know, this is where you're at, because remember, as many people as we deal with, we understand, we pay bills every month. We've got so many things that we have to do. There comes a point in time where enough's enough. What are Americans supposed to do?
Twice in the last week, President Biden has suggested that inflation was 9% when he took office and claimed credit for bringing it down. The Washington Post gave him a rating of 4 Pinocchios for that very tall tale. In reality, inflation in January of 2021 was 1.4%. As of this month, prices have increased 20% since then.
Golly.
By one estimate, listen to this, the average U.S. household has to spend an additional $1,074 every month to keep up the same standard of living they had when President Biden took office. The numbers don't lie, and neither do the American people. They know nonsense when they hear it. A 32-year-old engineer from Nevada who voted for the president in 2020 told reporters he's frustrated with the way the White House frames the economy. Here's what he had to say. It's concerning to me when I keep seeing press come out of the White House where they keep saying the economy is good. That's really weird because I'm paying more on taxes, more on groceries, more on housing, and more on fuel. So that doesn't feel good. Small business owners in particular have been hard hit by increased prices. They have smaller margins to absorb the increased costs for materials, labor, and other operating expense. And they risk losing customers every time they raise their prices. One small business owner in New York, fourth generation roofer, reported, we've increased more in the last 4 years than we did in 10. We don't have a choice. The owner of a small printing company in Washington state described painful price hikes as death by 1,000 paper cuts. He went on to say, people are tired of price increases.
100%. 100%.
We are tired of price increases. That's that. The American people are tired of price increases. They're tired of lies about it. And they're safe to say they're tired of Bidenomics.
How many of you guys would agree saying, hey, I am tired of everything that we've been dealing with, Bidenomics? How many of you guys would definitely say we are literally in a situation? Let's see this real fast. Okay, that was the same thing. So continuing on, this is what they're saying, guys. This is some pretty big news because, again, this is what is Senator Mitch McConnell is talking about, and this is literally information that just literally come out. Check this out.
On another matter, for 3 consecutive months, major national polls have ranked immigration as the most important problem facing our country. And this year, for the first time, a majority of Americans say they support erecting physical barriers along our southern border. So perhaps it's not a coincidence that the Democratic leader has indicated his intention to once again turn the Senate's focus to the border crisis and to portions of the bipartisan legislation Senator Langford helped produce earlier this year. But in his own remarks on the subject yesterday, my colleague from New York seemed to acknowledge what we all know, The key to securing our southern border are already in the hands that created this crisis. As the Democratic leader proudly declared, President Biden is taking action to secure our border. Last week, he said the president began announcing a series of administrative actions. Last week, Mr. President, after 3 years on the job, apparently it's time to give the commander-in-chief kudos on his handling of a crisis that still lets nearly 5,000 people cross our border illegally in a day. Of course, President Biden does have the authorities he needs to start rapidly undoing the damage of the historic crisis that unfolded on his watch. How do we know? Because he voluntarily took them off the table on day one. Remain in Mexico, off the table. The border wall construction, a majority of Americans support, not a chance. Any sign at all this administration would like to actually secure the border? Don't hold your breath. So, Mr. President, the path out of the deepening border crisis is actually not a mystery. It just requires a president who's willing to stop digging.
Listen, I just don't, I don't know. I don't get, I got to reply one to one of these comments. It was just funny. So I want to show you guys something because we had a major issue and it was, I mean, literally just today, guys.
Time's expired. Does any other member seek recognition?
Mr.
Chair
Chairman.
recognizes Ms. Green.
Order, please. There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a point of order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down. Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl?
I don't think we are going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to?
Man, that was Alexandria Cortez.
Okay. All right. We're suspending.
Absolutely.
Man, she got her feelings hurt. Somebody ought to give her a passy or something. I would have carried her when it said, "Hey, I brought you a passy," because you cry more than anybody I've ever
taking her
known.
words down. No way is that being allowed.
Why would they take your
Retract.
words down? I mean, is it that hurtful? Is she that
Absolutely.
hurt over that? Like, this is literally a hearing, and
Not today.
Yes.
Not today.
you know what I think?
Here's what we're not going to do.
I think because she's so vocal, and I think people get intimidated by how vocal she is and how she is she's like unafraid to voice and be super vocal, and she gets so loud. And I just think that people, I mean, I guess they get intimidated by her because she's so vocal, and she thinks that because the louder she gets, the more power she has.
If it's not a real apology, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to do a smarmy apology. She has to actually apologize. And that needs to be up to Ms.
Man, the countries look at the United States like they're crazy.
It needs to be sincere.
This is crazy.
Ms. Green has 4 minutes and 21 seconds. There's a motion. Ms. Green, do you wish to strike your words?
No, I wouldn't.
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So you agree to strike your words?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
was
recognizes
apologizing. No,
Mr.
she
Perry.
was
Okay,
apologizing.
hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
You're
not
nerve-wracking.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority.
pretty
No,
self-evident.
you're not.
Yeah, you're
out
not.
of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd
the.
like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
words.
I would like to strike
The
those
lady's
as well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
word.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your members under
Here's
control.
the correct parliament. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll
All
strike
right.
my words, but
That-
I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right to
recognizes-
object.
No.
Chairman, I
Chair
reserve the right to object.
recognizes
I
Mr. Perry.
reserve the right to object.
Chairman, I move that Mr. Goldman's words and Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's words be stricken.
Okay.
Which words? And you have to do it contemporaneously. Object. The objection must be contemporaneous, and they haven't spoken in 10 minutes.
Nobody's spoken in 10 minutes.
Well, that's right. Therefore, defeating your proposal.
You all have. So that's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
We weren't able to.
But I object. It doesn't refer to anything that's on the floor. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez objected immediately and instantaneously, as you're supposed to do under the rules and precedents of the House of Representatives.
So the first time he could.
Mr. Chairman, point of parliamentary inquiry.
All right. We're going to suspend for a minute, but we'll talk to the parliamentary.
Okay, guys, can I just
I object to your objection.
be honest? Our tax money pays these guys, and this is how that is terrible.
Gentleman from
That is terrible, guys. That our tax money goes to these people, like for what? Like to have bitter arguments, to not get anything accomplished. We've got wars going on. We got seniors living on the streets, and that's what they're just debating and arguing and crying about. And it drives me, guys, because these are the real issues.
On ABC 57 News tonight, inflation may be on the way down these days, but we're all still feeling it and paying for it. Right now, experts say food and fuel prices are staying stubbornly high, but so are interest rates and the cost of housing, too. ABC 57's Annie Kate is live in South Bend with her special report, Inflation's Impact. And Annie, it's not easy for Michiana homebuyers these days, is it?
Brian, all I can say is here come the millennials. Brian, at its core, this story is about supply and demand. Millennials make up a big portion of the population, many trying to get their first homes, but there just aren't enough to go around. In the meantime, they rent while trying to save up for that home. It's a struggle that Sheena Frederick knows all too well.
I have a living room, a dining room, a fenced-in backyard. I have some amenities here that have taken.
So,
to own a program with the landlord. That dream went up in flames.
So that video has music. We can't play anything with music, but it guys, the way that the system is set up, we're paying these people and literally nothing when it comes to taking care of the American people, nothing when it comes to keeping seniors off the streets, nothing when it comes to fixing inflation, nothing when it comes to, like literally. And, this is where we're running into issues, guys. Like, we have to get past this. We have to have better things, and we need some restoration, and people are tired of the Bidenomics, because regrettably, here's the thing. Everybody wants things to get better. Everybody does. Everybody wants things to get better. They want things to literally get back to normal. They want things to get back to the way they used to be, where things were better. And who knows, guys, what's going to happen. But with all that being said, while so many people have been debating a lot, here's one thing that people are still
18 in the trial for a crime that Democrats still haven't named. Michael Cohen suffering under a blistering cross-examination today. And oh boy, did he fall apart. The prosecution's entire case rested on one phone call that Michael Cohen says took place. Cohen testified that he called Trump's head of security and told him that the Stormy payment was taken care of. That was the big link between Trump and the money. Today it came out the call never happened. Trump's defense lawyers showed Cohen a sheet of text messages on the night he claims he made that call. Turns out Cohen had been getting prank calls from a 14-year-old and called Trump's security chief to ask if he could sic the Secret Service on him. Trump's defense attorney raising his voice, zeroing in on Cohen. That was a lie. You did not talk to President Trump. Cohen panicked, shifted in his seat, voice cracking. I'm not certain that's accurate, but the call logs don't lie. It was a Perry Mason moment. Sources inside the courtroom tell us the entire jury's jaw hit the floor. And never Trump or George Conway put his hands to his face and stared at the ceiling. CNN couldn't believe it.
Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen.
It does seem pretty bad, though.
This does seem, I feel like there are a lot of questions that have been raised.
I think if I was a juror in this case, watching that, I would think this guy's making this up as he's going along.
Donald Trump called it fascinating.
I think it was a very interesting day. It was a fascinating day. And it shows what a scam this whole thing is. I'm spending a lot of time and I'm spending a lot of money, which is what they want. They want me to spend my time and my money. And I'm willing to do it because ultimately we have to fight for the Constitution.
The entire testimony was a disaster. Trump's lawyer played for the jury. Michael Cohen sounding like a lunatic on his podcasts. A very different Michael Cohen from what the jury had seen inside of court.
I truly hope that this man ends up in prison. It won't bring back the year that I lost or the damage done to my family, but revenge is a dish best served cold. And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family. He is about to get a taste of what I went through, and I promise you, it's not fun.
Jurors peered up at Cohen while the tape played. They were embarrassed for him. Cohen looked down at the ground, also embarrassed. Imagine being a juror, listening, and realize you just spent your whole month away from work, away from your family, to listen to a case in which the star witness is exposed as a fanatic, seeking revenge on the defendant. The defense caught Cohen in lie after lie. At one point, the lawyer says, "Did you ever ask for a pardon?" Cohen says no. Then the lawyer pulled out a deposition where Cohen asked for a pardon. The whole courtroom just shakes their head. The defense painted a picture of a jilted lawyer who'd been passed over for White House chief of staff and who even had a hard time getting tickets to the inauguration. Cohen was suicidal and was forced to admit under oath that he had a vendetta against Trump. If you're a juror and you hear the star witness say that, not good.
A vendetta.
Michael Cohen's former lawyer told Fox this morning that Cohen said he never had anything on Trump, which would make sense because if Cohen did have dirt on Donald, he would have handed it to the feds on a silver platter to stay out of prison.
Besides making that statement, I swear to God, I don't have anything on Donald Trump. He also said more times than that answer, guys, I want you to understand, I will do whatever the F I have to do. I will never spend a day in jail. And then he'd slam his hand on the conference room table. Now, what does that mean to you? That means this guy is saying, I will lie, cheat, steal, do whatever I have to do. I'm not going to jail.
As Johnny Cochran said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And nothing here seems to fit. Bragg's whole case is hanging on a liar, a phone call that never happened, and a crime that no one can name. Bragg hasn't offered any proof that this payment was a campaign finance violation. that Trump knew or believed it was a campaign finance violation, and that he willfully falsified business records to cover it up. How do you cover up a crime that doesn't exist? Click here to subscribe to the
Wow.
Welcome to Hannity. Wow, what a day in court. Well, anyway, coming up tonight, according to the White House, Joe Biden has nothing to hide. At the very same time, the very same White House is blocking an audio recording from Biden's interview with the special counsel, Robert Hur. Now, this, of course, following the interview, the Hur concluded your president is a, quote, elderly man with a poor memory. You think? A full report straight ahead tonight. Plus, we're going to have more on why the far left Democrats and Democrat like Fake Jake at Fake News CNN should never, ever be allowed to moderate any presidential debate. And guess what? The great one, Mark Levin, his closing arguments for the sham trial in New York City. He is here tonight, which is where we begin as we head back to New York City, where the kangaroo court was back in session. Today, a massive turning point in this trial. I would say it was a my cousin Vinny moment. You need positive traction. Anyway, that moment came to life in real time as the so-called star witness, Michael Cohen, just literally crumbled under cross-examination. We'll give you all the details. According to those in the room, jurors literally gasped at Trump's attorney when he appeared to catch Cohen on an outright massive lie. This dramatic scene involved a 90-second phone call from 2016. Cohen testified earlier this week that the call was with Trump about the Stormy Daniels payment. But text messages and call logs, they appear to show something very different. And that was that Cohen was likely talking to Trump's bodyguard at the time, a guy by the name of Keith Schiller, about harassing phone calls that Cohen was receiving from a 14-year-old prankster. And according to real-time analysis, even from Fake News CNN, quote, Cohen looks like he made that one call after he saw some records from the prosecution, and he just kind of filled in the blank. On both Fake News CNN and MSDNC, pundits, they could see the writing is on the wall. Take a look.
Woo! For me, even with my strong feelings about Donald Trump, my knowledge of how he behaves, I couldn't today convict beyond a reasonable doubt. Michael Cohen is just such a problematic figure.
It sort of casts lots of his testimony in doubt, given the passage of time, and makes the district attorney's office look terrible.
On a cross-examination, lawyers want to kind of put the witness in a, build a box around the witness and then slam it shut. That's what Todd Blanche did to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie, I think, to many in the room.
It would be very hard for me to see a jury that would not have serious questions about Michael Cohen's credibility.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen.
I think the punches are building cumulatively. I think Tuesday there were bruises and today there's blood, to extend the metaphor.
Yeah, Michael Cohen got gutted on the stand today. Now, you heard it from MSDNC, Anderson Cooper at CNN, not exactly a pro-Trump conservative. If I was a juror in this case watching that, I would think this guy's making this up as he goes along. Beyond devastating. Michael Cohen's credibility problems, they don't even end there. Here's Cohen's former attorney, Robert Costello, telling the world that his former client said that he acted alone on the infamous Stormy Daniels NDA. He doesn't have a truth-telling problem either. Who do you believe? Take a look.
He kept on saying, I have nothing on Donald Trump. And then when we got into the discussion of the Stormy Daniels NDA, he said specifically, and I cross-examined him on this was my idea. It was his idea to take care of the NDA because he had been contacted by a lawyer for Stormy Daniels who said she was going to claim that Donald Trump had sex with her. Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation, but nevertheless, it would be embarrassing to Melania. That's Michael Cohen's words. He said, and so I decided to take care of this myself.
And Costello testified before Congress yesterday and is saying the prosecution doesn't have a case at all. And Michael Cohen is not telling the truth. And it looks like this exculpatory evidence was apparently hidden from the grand jury by Trump-hating prosecutor Alvin Bragg. Watch this.
But basically, they only put in a small cherry-picked group of emails. I presented maybe 200 to 300 emails and text messages to them. I had them with me, luckily, in chronological order. They put 2 or 3 into evidence. I asked them, are you going to put the rest of them into evidence? And they said no.
This case never, ever, as we've been telling you night after night, should have seen the light of day. Now, if Judge Juan Mershon had any integrity at all, he would throw this case out on what's called a directed verdict, which we have talked at length about. Don't hold your breath. The Biden donor probably won't do it. This judge made a political statement when, in fact, he did donate to Joe Biden, and his daughter is a Democratic operative. And the left-wing prosecutors are pretty much doing whatever they can do to smear Donald Trump and obfuscate the law. Their goal here is to garner a conviction merely because of the political leanings of the Manhattan jury. Remember, Alvin Bragg ran on a platform to get Trump, just like the AG in New York did. In fact, they're actually claiming Trump's attorneys, lawyers, are not allowed to call in legal experts to give their opinion on this far-fetched legal theory in question. They're lawyers. It's all about the law. This is beyond absurd. And frankly, it's not justice. This is what a weaponized justice system looks like in America. It's not pretty, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous if you want to remain a constitutional republic. Now, the Republican candidate for president is forced off the campaign trail. We're on week 5 now, forced to sit in a New York City courtroom day after day after day. His opponent gets to campaign any place, anytime he wants. Well, he's not doing very well. And anyway, facing allegations from a convicted liar and a porn star because of stacked, made up, still to be defined felony charges derived from a novel legal theory that no one seems capable of explaining, even the most, intelligent lawyers in the country, based on a simple misdemeanor that is past the statute of limitations. And the people who will decide the verdict, they are from New York City. That's a borough in New York that voted, 9-1 for Joe Biden, a little less than 9-1. That is called lawfare. This is the weaponization of your Department of Justice. And it's worse thanks to the left-wing prosecutors drunk with power. America, pay attention. We're headed down a very dark path here. But one disbarred attorney, longtime criminal, Michael Cohen, is having the time of his life. Even gets to sell merchandise, T-shirts with Donald Trump behind bars. He's now reportedly very good friends, by the way, with Trump's former arch nemesis, Rosie O'Donnell, on Monday. Well, she reportedly texted Cohen, quote, "Breathe, relax, tell the truth. You got this. I love you." Tonight, looks like Cohen might need some more encouragement after his humiliating testimony and beatdown on the stand today. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
Guys, literally, this is, it is crazy to think how bad our country has gotten. It's bad to think that literally you would think that things would be a lot better. People would be a lot more sophisticated, and that the justice system would actually eliminate stupid stuff like this from happening. But there again, we literally deal with it, and it is a shame to just see the amount of things that can happen when the right people are paid. Because you and I both know there are people designated to go strictly against Trump and make sure that they're getting him down. And, I don't know about you guys, but when are things going to actually be right again and not so mismatched? But, this is something that I wanted to show you guys because many of you guys are big fans of Joe Biden. And this news literally just come out, and we want to let you know, guys, exactly what's going on. Let's take a listen and let me know if you agree down in the comments.
Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Oh, my gosh. Did you?
I just want to say that I've invited Biden to debate. He can do it anytime he wants, including tonight.
Will make my day, pal. I'll even do.
Guys, listen, you can tell that Biden is reading off a teleprompter. I just hope that teleprompter doesn't lose power, because if he has to talk on his own, there goes. There's no telling what he's going to say. Guys, you've been a great audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, they're talking about stimulus checks coming out this week. Fingers crossed, hoping that happens. We've got a ton of news and information coming your way, guys. Stay updated on all the information. You've been a great audience. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We'll continue to do videos. We'll try to do it a little bit earlier tomorrow, just to make sure that you don't have to stay up so late to watch this episode. But if you haven't already, guys, join the family. I promise you, you're going to stay updated on all the news. A lot of the reasons why we kind of came on a little bit late tonight was I came across some more information literally that just come out an hour ago, just like what we've seen today through Fox. I mean, just news just kept coming out. So, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. God bless. And hope you have a wonderful night. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have one wonderful night, guys. God bless.